Beauty, good morning. How we doing? We are live, baby, and we've got a hell of a bar here on bar 37, 252 out. We've got work to do, big dog. Let's see what we can get here on bar 37, one of the prettiest bars we've had all day. I don't mind 37. Let's see if I can put something on here. About halfway through this bar. Oh, shit, that's hot. All right. All right. Now remember here, 1 o'clock Central today, we've got FOMC. Oh yeah, bar 11. Yes, sir. See, if you recognize bar 11 as probably the most obvious setup, at least one of them, of the day here thus far, I think you're killing it. Whether you took it or not, as long as you recognize it, tremendous. 90 seconds out. All right, man. All right. We got low a day at the wick low of 2. And we are 60 seconds out. Beautiful bar 37. I will go ahead and prematurely get that copy trader engaged. And let's see if 37 can give me a nice clean close. Not too much wick. And I'll slap out a stop limit sell. The obvious trade, at least it is for me. And see if I can get a little stop hunt. All right, 37, calm down. Big dog, chill out a little bit. No more growing. All right. HR 34. I like that. 10 seconds out. Stop limit sell ready. Place him for the rollover. Bit of wick on 37. That's okay. Give that 20, 25 seconds. See if I can get a fill. Ten seconds. Oh, you bears. You bunch of babies! All right, no fill, no trade. Next bar here, let's watch 38. All right. Well, what's up with you guys so far, huh? How we doing? Bar 38 here, man. If I can get a nice clean bear close, for me right now, that's about best case scenario. There you go, bears. Halfway through 38. Trevor says, doing good. Only $200 away from first ever payout. Tremendous. First of many. Good work. Two minutes. ATR sitting 33. Oh, I'd like to see that ATR hang out in the 30s. If we could stay in the 30s, that would be tremendous. Or higher, you know, 40s, 50s. It's all fair game, but down to the 20s or especially the teens. Not super into it. All right, 60 seconds out until the close here at bar 38. Ten seconds here. Gonna be an inside close most likely on 38 inside bar 37. Bulls trying to take this thing back higher. That's all right. Let's let them do their thing. All right, Bulls tiptoeing around here inside. Bar 37, 36. We'll see what they've got. One more press downside is going to take out the low a day if we can get it. Question, what's the trick to avoiding a FOMO exit and managing emotions while being in a trade? You guys know there's only one answer to this. I talk about this all the time. What is it? There's one singular answer to this question. How do you manage your trading emotions? And no, it is not, let's go talk to a therapist, though that could help as a trader, and they'll tell you to spin around 17 times every morning in the mirror and repeat to yourself at least 9 times that you are profitable. What are we doing, guys? The only answer to this is to develop a track record that you become so confident in that you do not care what happens on any given trade. The only reason you exit early because of FOMO, right, or I guess you would say fear of giving it back, is because you're currently unsure of the long-term result, but you are sure that you're green 7 points on this trade. Even though your target is 52, you're sure that you're green 7 points right now. And the market closes in on it with the bid and the offer, and you can technically liquidate for a profit right now. That's the only thing you're sure of. Well, the more sure you become about your mid and long-term performance, which is by having expected value that is positive on the averages on any given trade, you no longer give a shit as much about each individual trade. That's the only answer. That's it. So trade smaller, brute force discipline for 2 weeks, and you'll very quickly, I think, retrain your brain to get dopamine from just following the process rather than booking a profit early, which that dopamine is extremely fleeting because you immediately understand, well, sure, I made, $8 on that trade, but I don't even know if I could repeat it. All right, here's the rollover, by the way, bar 39 to the open of bar 40. Chat, making the swap from 1 mini to 5 micros completely got rid of my emotions. Drawdown is a lot less scary when it's half the amount. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. See, there's conflicting motivations here. You understand? Because when you trade big, whatever the fuck that means to you, when you trade big, you're like, good, I can get rich with this size. But then you're a mess emotionally. That's okay, by the way. That's expected at that size in the early days. You have no track record, so why would you be confident trading large size? Especially in prop accounts where the drawdown is like a few $1,000s. So you have to go down, I'm telling you, it's non-negotiable. You have to go down to the size where you just don't give a shit. You really don't care what happens on this trade, at least for a period of time. You're like, but Nico, I'm not going to get, ultra wealthy trading 2 micros, dude. Yeah, no shit. You're definitely not going to get ultra wealthy trading 2 minis and then having a fucking fit every time you lose. That's definitely not going to lead you where you want to go. So what do you want to do? What do you really want? You want to be a trader, or do you want to fucking pretend like you're going to be a trader and tell everyone about it and then fail? I would encourage you to tell basically nobody, except those that you are extremely close to, which is going to be a select few, if even more than one, and keep it private from everybody else and go down the path in the way that's going to lead to the highest probability of success, which almost nobody would do, which is what we just talked about. Nico, how many different firms can you copy trade with the copy trader? With the copy trader or with the broker? I assume you mean the copy trader. Ed, it's as many as Trade-Evate, as offers Trade-Evate, I'll say. It's as many prop firms as offers Trade-Evate, which is a fucking lot. So it doesn't matter. There's no, like, limit, at least that I'm aware of, with the Affordable Indicators copier that I use. But you can only have one Rhythmic connection to NinjaTrader at a time. So I currently use Rhythmic for my Apex accounts. I don't know. That's just what I picked. And then I use Trade-Evate for TakeProfitTrader and whatever else. My funded futures. Oh, which by the way, dog, update. I know some of you guys are asking. My funded futures code BIG, B-I-G, will now give you the best deal that they are offering ever, all the time. We're live over at My Funded Futures, big man, so go hit it. All right, bar 40. See what we can do. Tarzan, big dog. Chat says, Nico, I feel like they continue to wick my stops. I don't really understand the rest of their statement, but Nathan, my man, the market's just after you and your prop accounts, my guy. Sorry, dude. The market, those fucking market makers, they put their sights on you. They want your prop funds. Just kidding. In all reality, what you're probably doing, either you're on a bit of a streak, which is fine. You know, people, especially beginner traders, they lose their fucking minds when you go on a streak. I don't want to say it's kind of silly to watch because, you know, I've everything that a beginner trader is going through, we've all been through, including myself. I've been through probably more than they have. So it's not funny in the moment, but in hindsight, it's a little bit funny because you get so pissed on like a 2 or 3 or 4 trade losing streak, as if that's not extremely normal even for high edge traders. Like I don't get it. Probably what you're doing though is you're probably trying to take reversion scalps in a sideways trading range, or you're just on a bit of a streak, which is fine. But I would think about that first one first. Nico, can you add Top Step accounts to the copy trader you use? I don't know. What's the Top Step connection? Do they offer Trade-Evate? If they offer Trade-Evate, then the answer is yes. I haven't traded at Top Step. All right, bar 41 here. Let's see what we get. Question, is it true that your instincts become better with experience in trading, or it's data-based on repeated actions? Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's the nuance in discretionary decision-making. What it really is, it's not instincts in the way that everyone thinks of it. It's you just see repeated behaviors out of the market. Like those of you guys that were watching live last week, maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was like 2 days ago. I don't even remember at this point. But later in the day, might have been yesterday. Do you remember when we saw a run-up early and then a huge sideways range midday, and then early afternoon, kind of like after the lunch hour, things faded and then tried to come back up. And in that moment, I said, I've seen this movie too many times. You're probably going to come up to that general region, not to the tick, of course, and go sideways for a little while. More often than not, that's what's going to happen. Okay, and then it'll, if there's time left, it'll probably pick a direction and then just slowly fade. It's basically 50-50 probability which way it goes. But when you come back into an area of interest as volatility is collapsing, like late day, and there was a previous tight sideways range, a lot of times you'll spend some time in there again if you come up and test it again. That's just an example. There's a million of these. Like soft bull channels, another one. Soft bear channels, another one. We just express them as soft channels, but what they really are is, hey, I've seen this movie a million times. I know that if I do a logical thing here, I can squeeze a bit of edge out of the market if I manage it a certain way. Now, if you put that trade on and risk, 75 points and try to take a 3-point profit in a range scalp, I don't think the math is going to work out too often in your favor, at least on a mid and long-term sample size. But if you do logical things, even if you go negative reward to risk scalping, you can make sense of the probability and make the math work out in your favor. So 100%, but I wouldn't call it instinct. You could, but I would refer to it more as just the nuance and the discretion of like, I know what I'm looking at. Hey man, if you haven't yet, I appreciate you hitting like or dislike, big dog, on the live stream here. Big Mac, how we doing, my man? Chillin', my man. We love it. 50 seconds out. Mario, big dog. JM, how are we? Big Bo, what's up? News? How we doing, brother? Ah, shit. Hang on, I gotta call the wife and tell her not to out me. Alright, 1 second here. Hey, babe, I told you not to tell the people that we're AI. The fuck are you doing? Yeah, no, go back in the chat and tell that I'm definitely not AI. And that I definitely don't use a voice changer. Say it just like that. Okay. All right, love you too. All right, we're back. What's up? Good wifey. All right, bar 42, 340 out. Whole bunch of sideways dojis. Come on, Bears, tank this thing about what? Maybe 600-700 points. I think that's a reasonable expectation here. All right, beautiful pull in here out of the bears. See if we can get a rollover. We're halfway through bar 42. If I can get a rollover into bar 43, ooh, and then a nice bear body, I will short that son of a gun to the dirt. You know I want to. You know, and by the way here, if you look at this, it's actually a pretty cool example. So you've got kind of a bear channel. You could refer to it as a soft bear channel. I know what you mean. You know, we know what we mean at that point, but it's not so soft, is it? I mean, it's actually pretty aggressive. So the probability of me taking limit order reversion trades in a more aggressive channel like this, it starts to go down the more aggressive it gets, just because it's like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do, right? I mean, you could short up in this wick on 41, or you could have done that, I guess. But you're going to have to risk the wick high of 33. Now, is that logical? Sure, it's logical, but it's kind of less of a scalp now, right? You're probably holding that as a day trade, at least on the averages of how long that trade is expected to take. Beauty. Good work there, Bears. Now, honestly, I don't want 42 to get so big, because that starts blowing 43 out. Best case scenario, 42 closes up kind of just beneath the wick low of 40, rolls over into 43, and 43 closes kind of in this region. That would be tremendous. Then I'll short that guy. Not the greatest close out of 42, but that's all right. Now, my concern, or my question, I suppose, here for the market becomes, does this turn into a tiny little trading range? ATR, you see ATR? I don't even want to point it out because I'm going to kill your good mood. ATR is already beneath 30, down at 28. 28's okay, but if that keeps dipping into the teens, oh man. Nico, who first got you started with the markets? Did you start trading using a laptop? There was nobody that got me started in the markets except me. The thing that got me into this was the same story probably as the majority of you. I looked at everything else and I was like, even if the ceiling is high, I know what my life potential is. Because there's a salary. And most salaries are capped after some kind of reasonable cap, even if it's a lot. And you could say we could work on commission, and it's like, yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, is it truly unlimited within reason, the way that the market is? No, I mean, the theoretical limit of the market is liquidity, which, I mean, good luck. So there was no person. I just looked at all this, and everything else terrified me so much that I had to go search for bigger industry or industries. And then as far as what did I use at first, I had a shitty old laptop that I think I bought refurbished for like a couple $100, if that, and a phone. But, you know, I mean, you know, it's not like phones were bad 9 years ago, but they definitely a little glitchier than today, maybe. Which isn't great. All right, here we go. 43. All right, that low of day, you got the wick low of bar 2. Okay, now I'm watching bar 43 here. We got 2 minutes. All right, chill out, Bears. Chill out. That's about enough. Yeah, for trading, gaming laptops are good. Honestly, don't overestimate the amount of power you need out of a PC to trade. It doesn't take much for trading on its own. Like any capable gaming PC is going to be probably even overkill for day trading. It's not like it doesn't take much. The heaviest platform in the industry, I would say, is Thinkorswim. And even that you can run on kind of a slower machine. But, long term, I think best case scenario, I think what you should all shoot for is, I think you should have a home battle station, and then you have a laptop that you take with you that's set up for trading so you can trade on the go. But I think a PC at home is at least for me, I prefer that. Damn, 43, wicking back inside the wick low of 42. 10 seconds. Not great. Inside close, closing basically at its midpoint, if not above, on 43. We'll watch 44. Chat says, started trading on an iPad. Used my first payout to buy a PC, started from the bottom. Bootstrap that shit, homeboy. Fucking best way to do it. This is kind of an extreme take. But this is what I like. I like this shit. Life is intense. And it should be that way. I fucking love it. The broker you are, the worse off you are when you start, the better the fucking story. So if you're watching right now and you're like, this is fucked. Just think about how crazy it's gonna go. I mean, that's best case scenario, dude. How lame of a fucking story would it be if you start with a big inheritance? It's like, so what, dude? Like, other people are gonna be like, well, I didn't have that. Like, even if you had to work your ass off, even with the inheritance, it's just not gonna hit the same. Even to yourself, I think. All right, bulls taking this baby back higher. Oh, you bulls, sideways range. Get us away from this and I'll slap something on. You guys see this, right? You see it, right? Could also play out like that. Let's hope that doesn't develop too much further. ATR is actually coming back up, which is interesting. We're sitting at well, we were sitting at 30, now back down to 28. All right, there's the open of bar 45. Let's see what 45 brings. All right, time to run a flash poll here. All right, flash poll, answer. And answer quickly. Now I'm talking in, by the way, I'm talking in relation to like this trading range, generally speaking, right? And when I say all day, I guess I'm talking to up until FOMC, right? All right, 2 minutes, by the way. I'll end that poll at the end of bar 45 here. 2 minutes out. By the way, the FOMC futures, effectively as we call them, are pricing in essentially a 100% probability that the Fed makes no change here today. So you might say, well, how do we trade that? You wait for the volatility to chill out and go back to trading price action is how you trade that. And that's coming here in 47 minutes, 46 minutes. Yes, good reminder for the whole chat here. If you're trading TakeProfitTrader, you gotta be flat for FOMC. Do not be in a trade. Okay, no reason to lose those pro accounts. Those things are an asset with daily payouts. By the way, the current deal that they're running with code BIG, B-I-G, it'll give you 40% off the initial buy, right, when you buy the test. And then when you pass that test, if you use the code at signup, you will not pay the activation fee, which is $130 if you don't use code BIG. Oh man, this range. I sure hope we don't go sideways up until the news. Oh man. Chat says, I see more red candles on the screen, gives me the impression it'll go down. You know, that's not the craziest take. In a way, it's kind of like reading price action. The problem is now we're in a sideways range. Okay, so probability, just straight up, guys, I know this isn't the answer you would like, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. This is 50-50. It's 50-50, which way it breaks. So you wait for it to break, and then you trade the price action. This here, I know most people think, like, accounts get blown up on bar 29 and shit. And yeah, maybe if you're trading too big, a lot of accounts quietly get blown up through here. Why? Because people don't want to admit it, because this is a story. Blowing up on 29 is a story. It's like, oh, it wasn't my fault, and you get to blame something else, right? This, there's really no one to blame. But I would argue more accounts get blown up in this bullshit than on 29. Maybe. But a lot regardless. Because it feels safe, right? It's nice and slow, it's sideways. The problem is, the probability, therefore the edge, sucks. It's like 50-50. Chat, first week trading, I lost so much money on sideways until I learned my lesson. I hate sideways. If you're like really new to trading, first of all, welcome. Welcome. Brute force discipline and patience for 2 weeks, trade small, and never quit. And I think you'll make a fucking lot of money in this industry. And you're gonna see a lot of sad individuals quitting along the way. Let them. That's their fucking problem. It's not your life. Here's my advice if you're brand new. It feels safe to trade the sideways trading ranges. It's more dangerous. Okay, it feels really dangerous to trade, you know, bar 11, for example. You're like, oh my God, but that's the high a day, and everyone says that that's really stupid to do. Yeah, well, they're losing money, so why the fuck would you listen to them? Bar 11's a beautiful trade. Okay, it feels wrong to take because everyone when they come in is a contrarian. And if you're scared, what do? In the chat, if you're scared to do something, what do? If it's a great setup but you're terrified, you're like, I don't know about this. How do you fix that? What, no one knows in the chat? Seriously, how long we've been doing this? No one knows the answer? Go to church? Karzan, size down, that's right. Karzan is the only one who knows the answer, I guess. Whole bunch of people know the answer. Beautiful, we love it. We love it. Karzan had the shortest delay here today. You size down, man. You size down. If you're new, I would much rather see you take 11 with 1 micro than trade in here with 5 micros or a mini. This is going to eat you up. This will eat a lot of pros up. This is not easy trading. This is the biggest upgrade you can make, and you're going to be scared. Size down. You'll say, Nico, but I'm not going to get rich sizing down. Well, you're not going to get rich doing this, doing what you're doing, right? All you're doing is losing your fucking ass every day. Consistently. And by the way, if you have a red day or 2 or 4, don't worry about it. Focus on process. That'll keep you in the game, which is what's needed to make a lot of money here. Good work, guys. Whole bunch of people knew the answer. We love it. Yeah, 100%. We already determined earlier that I'm AI and I'm using a voice changer. You're late to the party, big man. All right, minute 45 out here. Let's see what the Bulls got, man. Come on, you Bulls. Get us higher, man. 45 seconds out till the close of 47. They're having a hell of a time getting us up out of this range. A whole bunch of dojis in here. You plan to trade FOMC? No, sir. No, I will be flat for FOMC. TakeProfitTrader does not allow you to trade FOMC. And we know that there is, effectively, they're actually pricing in a full 100% probability. I would call it more like 99.9%. That the Fed is going to make no change to rates. Okay, so if anybody tells you today, which you know some motherfucker's going to try, that they can predict FOMC and it's going to be no change and they're so smart, well, you got to understand what's going on. Everybody already knows that that's what's going to be the release. And if it's not that, the world is going to flip on its head and the market's going to go fucking insane. But that's what we're dealing with here. So it's 50-50. The news is 50-50. It depends on the comments after the fact as well. All right, ATR sitting at 27. 35 seconds out. Till the close of bar 48 here. We got a whole bunch of wicks. This is a trading range like we talked about, man. We're about 30 minutes out, by the way, from FOMC, so we'll see what that brings. All right, there's the open of bar 49. Numbers, all the numbers are counting the bars from the New York session open. There's 78 bars in a New York session. I mean, think about it, guys. If someone lives in California and someone else lives in Dubai, okay, and I say bar 11, is that not a hell of a lot easier than saying, you know, the time? Or trying to adjust it to Eastern time, and then they have to all adjust it to what that means for them. And by the way, I did this before, you know, I added this. I don't remember when I added this to the stream. But this is common practice where I come from. This is very normal. Also, when you look back on charts and you're doing your daily review, it's kind of like using hotkeys. You know, what are you gonna do? Fumble around like a fucking goof with your mouse and click buttons and then miss the button and miss your exit, or just hit a hotkey? It's the same thing here. When you look back to do your daily review and you look back through all 78 bars, you say, okay, bar 11, oh look, bar 29, it was meaningful. Bar 34, still inside the wick low 29. Bar 37, not quite. Rather than saying, okay, the 925, okay, then maybe the 1010. I don't know, common practice where I come from. Like it or not, it's here to stay, big man. All right, let's watch bar 49 and see what's up here. Two minutes. Chat says, new to all this, just learning. Sometimes I think I'm picking it up. Sometimes it feels like I'm learning a foreign language. Thanks for doing what you do. It helps. It is like learning a foreign language. Learning to read price action is like learning to speak another language in many ways, or at least recognize, maybe read another language is a better comparison. Which, I mean, sounds intimidating, but is there as much upside? I mean, I guess unless a loved one only speaks Spanish, then there's infinite upside. But for many people, it's not going to be the case, right? So is there as much upside? I guess we'll say financially, or in life in many ways in general, to learning another language as compared to learning the language of price action. I would argue, I don't know. I think you should learn price action and then learn a whole bunch of languages if you'd like, but yeah, I'd say it's no different. And if you become fluent in reading Spanish or Japanese, then it gets easier to read a book. You look at it, you know what's going on without having to think too hard. Same thing with charts, dude. I don't get why people don't seem to understand that. Or like learning to read sheet music, sure. Not that I have any idea how to do that. News, that's right, yes. The answer is hotkeys and one more monitor is the answer. All right, bar 50, open it up. Yes, you have to get another one. Someone says, I gotta get another. Doesn't matter how many you have, you need one more. Sorry, guess you're going to the store. Or Amazon. All right, 4 minutes out. Till the close of bar 50 here. Still in this range. Again, biggest concern, or the obvious thing right now is this, right? So we got to let that do its thing. We are 24 minutes out, by the way, from FOMC, so we're starting to get close. We are starting to get close. Callan, I got you. Can you explain the concept of take profit trader? It seems way different than others. Take profit trader, it kind of front loads the process into the test. Okay, so you have to trade a certain number of days, you pass, you get a pro account, and then it's daily payouts. You just request them above the buffer. I love take profit trader. I've always said, here's the way I look at it. If you're not, well, I'll say full time, because that's obviously the goal. But I guess even if your goal is just to go part-time, if you're not paying a decent or all and then some of your bills with trading, and you're like, okay, that's the goal, I would start with take profit trader because you need money coming in. Like, you can't wait. You need money in the bank, right? So take profit trader allows daily payouts. I think that's the quickest route to bootstrap. Then you're going to say, okay, so I have 5 accounts, or maybe 3, 4, 5, whatever. I take profit trader. Now it's time to make the numbers big and make a lot of money. Go to Apex, get 10, 15, more like 20 funded accounts, make the numbers bigger. And by the way, to be clear, at that point you'll be trading both. It's not one or the other, it's both. And I wouldn't stop there either. I mean, I think it's time at some point branch out, start going to other prop firms as well. Though there is some management, that starts to kind of balloon as you start going out with more and more firms. But I think it's worth it. All right, minute 27 out here from the close of bar 50. Slow, slow, slow. 20 minutes out here from FOMC. Bar 50 about to roll over into the open of 51. 50 is going to be another inside close. You got inside, 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 inside. Market's waiting for the news, I think. Not that we don't know what it's going to be. Extraordinarily high probability that the Fed is going to make no changes here today to interest rates. Now, all that being said, you're all adults, right? How many of you do plan to trade the FOMC release? Just straight up, man. You can make your own decisions, right? Obviously. How many of you guys plan to trade it? And which direction you going? We've got one vote for short. Everyone else says not a chance. Two votes for short. Big E says he's gonna head to the gym instead. So we got a leg day today. So it sounds like you got about 15 sets of lateral raises, huh? Fuck, those delts get nice and sore on leg day, don't they? All right, minute 20 out here from the close up of Big Bar 51. ATR sitting at 25. Oh man, should we start gambling? Oh man, we should take bets on what the ATR is going to be during, what's it going to cap out at during FOMC? Fuck man, let's start shooting dice. Let's do something. You gotta love it. Yeah, I was going to say like maybe 60. Obviously, we have no idea. 64, 70, 70, 50, 100, 30, 36. Don't you put that on us. Fucking jerk. I'll be happy if FOMC pushes ATR, you know, above 50. That'd be great. At least 40 for a sustained period of time. News locking in 58. John says 12. Okay. Jerk. ATAR down to 23 here, by the way. So it seems like FOMC is being waited on here. Now watch, yeah, watch ATR go down after FOMC. You ever trade earnings? Nah, trading the actual earnings of that. Well, I mean, if you count holding positions through earnings that are not necessarily short-term trades, then yeah, of course. But actively trading earnings, it's like actively trading FOMC. I mean, it's just, it's 50-50. The market already has all the information you're ever going to find, probably, and then some. Okay, so the best, if you want to talk earnings, the day after earnings can oftentimes lead to good price action in stocks, particularly even pre-market, and then maybe before the lunch period, if you want to talk about earnings on stock. Then, of course, that can, you know, on big blue chips, that can trickle into ES and or NQ the day after. But you know what's funny is, like, all this stuff, guys, you even if you ignore all the news, you're gonna see it better if you just read price action. Huge move, baby, a 10-point pop here out of the bulls. Minute 25 out to the close of bar 52. We are about 11 minutes out here from FOMC. There you go. There's a little bit of a push. Tubed, what's up, big man? How are we today? 100%, Todd. Everything you need is right there in the price action. All right, well, we're gonna sit through FOMC together. And we're gonna watch the charts, man. We're not gonna sit here like a bunch of goofballs and you know, watch some press talk. So we're going straight to the source. So I will be right back. I gotta prep for this by grabbing some coffee. Don't you go anywhere, big man! That's an order. Be right back. All right. What's up? We got FOMC here 3.5 minutes out. We'll see what this brings. It is going to be no change, by the way. The Fed is going to do nothing to interest rates. So we just got to see what the market's going to do here, how it's going to react to the already understood news. All right, don't you lie to me. In the chat right now, who's in a position and going to leave it on? Who's in a position and plans to leave it on, and which direction? No cowards. People will say, yeah, I'm in a position. Long or short, homeboy? Long NQ. We got a couple of longs. 3 longs, 4 longs, 5 longs, 1 short. 6 longs, 1 short. You shorts are getting blown out. At least in the chat here, we'll see. God, what is that? 8 longs, 2 shorts. 10 longs, 3 shorts. All right. All right, let's see. Manuel says, got a buy stop limit, or a stop limit buy above, and a stop limit sell below. Whichever one gets hit, it'll close the other. Okay, interesting. Interesting. So you got to hope for no range. Depends if Powell says good afternoon or not. Are you betting? Are you gambling on words? Good Lord, man. That's a thing now, huh? All right, 45 seconds. Yeah, you can gamble on words, you can gamble on the color of ties. It was ridiculous. But whatever, you know, you're an adult, you can choose to do it or not. No one's stopping you. I don't give a fuck if you want to gamble your money away. Well, I kind of do, actually. Please don't do that. All right. There's the rollover. Let's see what ATR caps out at here in the coming, we'll say, I don't know, hour or so. No change, by the way. No change out of the Fed as predicted. We knew that was coming. So they will make no change to interest rates. Now we see how the market reacts to the expected news. And we've got some comments coming. We'll keep an eye on those as well here. Just watch that price action. Everything you need is right there in the action. Ooh, not too much movement. Not too much movement, man. Yeah, I mean, what's the market gonna do, you know? When everyone knows what the Fed is going to do with near 100% certainty, what is there to price in? Not a hell of a lot, a little bit of added volatility, but so range so far on the FOMC bar, 50 points. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. ATR sitting 27. Okay, 2 minutes out here till the close of bar 55. Bear is making a little bit of progress, growing that bar a tad. Range on that bar, now 70 points, 71 points. Easy short, huh? Well, when it works, sure. All right, 60 seconds till the rollover here. Let's see. Let's see how this volatility continues here. Easy short, but if they lowered interest rates, I would have to sell my house. Yeah, see? There you go. Good reward to risk there, I'd say, huh? Okay, this bar is going to roll over. Range on the FOMC bar is going to hang out about 71 points. That is not large. We had, going into this, what do we have? Maybe 12 of you guys were sitting long, and like 4 were sitting short. So the inverse chat indicator wins again. Yeah, so VIX, yep, Tony says VIX is wild going up. VIX will typically increase when the market is coming down, especially if it's coming down quickly, which I wouldn't say it's so quickly right now, but compared to the previous volatility, you could say so. VIX likes to rise quickly when the market's falling. So in many ways, you know, if you can get long a volatility instrument, it's an interesting way to effectively be short the market in many cases. It's not exact one-to-one, of course, but if that ever helps you in, if you need to put on a creative position. All right, 245 out here from close of 56. Bulls taking it back upside, man. At least trying to, halfway through bar 56. Doug, what's up, brother? How are we? Good to have you. Okay, now, by the way, in 21-ish minutes, we'll have the FOMC press conference from Powell. I'm going to miss Powell, man. So we'll kind of keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, tonight, or this afternoon, depending where you are in the world, we have Meta earnings, Google, or Alphabet, Amazon, Microsoft, Jesus, QCOM, Ford, eBay. Then you have the calls from Alphabet, Meta, Amazon. Oh, God. Yes, sir. Big afternoon / evening here. All right, 25 seconds out till the close of 56. Now, this is, you got to remember, this is kind of a weird news-driven market. We're in between. The in-between period during FOMC can get a little bit squirrely. Okay, between the release of the data and when Powell takes the stand. So here's the rollover, 56 into 57. You know, I do think it's kind of a tall order to ask the bears to just break this market into a huge bear trend before Powell even starts talking. Doesn't mean it's a zero probability, it's just the lower probability event. So we'll see if they can even take out the low a day here, which is still the wick low of 2, by the way. Let me show you. Right there. That's the low a day where my cursor is. Bulls are trying. Let's see if they can, dude. You know, it's been a little while since I've checked in with you guys. First of all, you know, how are you doing? Fuck trading, dude. It'll come. Okay, you stick with it, you make logical decisions, you remain patient and disciplined, you'll be fine. Fuck trading, how are you doing? And secondly, has anybody, since the last time we checked in, made a notable progression? First time in a funded account, first eval passed, that is. First payout. Maybe you went from 2 payouts to 5 payouts, or 2 payouts to 10 payouts, or more. Maybe you hit a P&L goal. Hell, maybe you held on to a funded for more than 2 days. What's up? Any progress here thus far? Or I guess since our last check-in. Sky says 8,000 in payouts this week so far. Tremendous. Good work. Eric, big dog. Keep pushing. Tony, love to hear it, man. John, third $500 payout. Good work. Mark scaling up to 4 fundeds. Good work, guys. Keep pushing, man. Keep scaling. Just don't get cozy. Obviously, there's, ebb and flow of the market. Sometimes you scale it down as far as size that you're trading. Sometimes you scale it up. Sometimes the numbers are, well, whatever, 5,000, 10,000 plus per trade. Sometimes they're 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 per trade. Depends on the market environment. But you want to zoom out and look at the full curve of what's going on. Just don't get comfy. I think a lot of people I've seen, they'll get like 3 fundeds and they kind of get nervous. And they'll trade those 3 fundeds for like 6 months. Fuck's the difference, dude? You're copy trading either way. Just get 20. You didn't get into this industry to try to get by. You're here for a bit more than that, at least hopefully. All right, 58, 4.5 minutes out. Yeah, Bulls taking it right back up, trying to. We'll see if they form a trading range here, heading into Powell beginning to speak. Here we're 14 minutes out. This is all FOMC related, man. We're in between the FOMC data release and Powell speaking. He will be speaking here in about 12 minutes. So, what do you guys think, man? Is Powell out of here? You know, his chair term is up here in a couple of weeks. We'll see if he decides to remain on the board until January 2028. It's going to be kind of weird, man. For the majority of my career, Powell's always been the dude. It's always been Powell. All right, let's see here. We're about 10 and a half minutes out. The moving average, someone's asking about the moving average. Don't focus on that too much. That is literally the least important thing that I'm looking at. That's the 20 EMA. It's up there because it looks pretty and it keeps us from getting dizzy. That's literally it. I'll refer to it every once in a while, but you know, it is bottom of the barrel reference for me. It's a 20 EMA. But you take it away from me, it'll change nothing. MP says, does code BIG work at Lucid? No, sir. I'm very selective about who I grace with the presence of code BIG, B-I-G. Right now, code BIG will give you the best deal 24/7 that they have available at Apex, TakeProfitTrader, and My Funded Futures. Just those three. I don't slang that shit everywhere. I only go to places that I've used, taken payouts from, and like. Well, we're about 5 or 6 minutes out from Powell dropping the sauce here on us. We'll see what kind of comments he makes. By the way, I know, not that I necessarily condone this, but I know that a lot of you guys probably traded evals on that move. Did anybody pass any? Coming into the FOMC release? Or below some? I know how much you guys like to trade evals on news. We have 4 minutes, by the way, till the close up of bar 60. The HR length, I'm rocking 10. Yeah, next setup is getting put on. Except, chair of the Fed is talking in 3 minutes, so that's something you might want to consider. All right, we got Powell talking again. 2.5 minutes out. I'll be right back. Let me just grab a refill, and we'll be ready to go, man. Don't you go anywhere. All right. What's up? Okay. We'll see what Powell has to say here. So, by the way, after FOMC, we've got some traders pricing some things in. We're now seeing about a 45% probability that we see a Fed rate hike in 2027, which obviously is a ways off, but that's worth, knowing. Deeper Mind, what's up, big dog? How we doing? So Powell says the current policy approach is suitable. Trump says Iran has come a long way. Question is whether they will go far enough. We've got comments coming from both right now. So just chill out a little bit. There you go, bulls. I don't know, man. I'm not TakeProfitTrader support. Talking about initial sign up. That was quite a long time ago for me. I'm a user just like you, man. I don't work for TakeProfitTrader. But, you know, there's questions about, I'm waiting on my login, I'm waiting on my payout approval at Apex. Dude, just chill out. Chill out, it comes. 415 out here from the rollover bar 62. Bull's trying to get a little bit of work done. We're probably going to see a little bit of a trading range here. Let's see if that ends up being the case. There you go, Bulls. All right, we like that volatility. Now, ATR is back up to 35. Remember when we were taking bets on ATR? Man, I think the general consensus was between 50 and 70 about, which I think makes a lot of logical sense. I guess we'll see what ATR peaks out at. We're sitting at 35 right now, lower than expected on the volatility thus far. MP? All right, big dog. We'll see ya. Okay, so it looks like we might be getting questions here from Powell shortly. Yes, we are. We're getting questions. Usually this Q&A section, people will try to ask Powell questions, and usually he just has to kind of do the Fed dance. Again, the Fed's job is to look correct in hindsight. It's not Powell, it's just what the Fed is meant to do. Okay, so a lot of times people will ask questions that it's like, come on, like you don't actually expect to get a real answer to that, and then it's kind of the dance around tiptoe, and we're on track. The Fed is a very slow ship. The Fed would much rather, and this is worth knowing for your career, the Fed is never, even with COVID, I mean, they had to do an extreme thing, but it was like, we better make damn sure that this is right. The Fed is never going to do crazy, outlandish things unless absolutely necessary, that will risk their hindsight image. Okay, the Fed needs to be right and look smart when it's all said and done. Because if they do something crazy, they're going to look like they make off-the-cuff decisions, and that's dangerous to the, economic state of the country, we'll say. So they'd rather be a big cargo ship that is slow and looks right in hindsight, even if they're late, than be the speedboat who makes kind of off the cuff, like squirrely decisions. All right, bar 63, 4 minutes out to the close, just hanging out in this little range now. A couple of wicks, 61, 62. Market feels confused, man. Nico, what are some of your favorite equities? Well, I can just speak on some of my favorite companies. Otherwise, you start getting into financial advice territory. But you know what? I remember Palantir very early. I got extremely interested in the company. Still to this day, one of my favorite companies. Amazon positioned beautifully for the AI boom. Of course, NVIDIA. AMD, always been a fan of. Buy stock that you couldn't make money or do what you do each day, as a consumer, we'll say as well, without using their products. Palantir is sort of an exception. Obviously not financial advice at all. I hate saying that because it's so fucking cliche at this point, but someone out there thought it was, so you gotta say it. I remember IPO day on Palantir, actually. That was an exciting day. Oh yes, it will be very active this evening. No doubt about that, because we got earnings. We've got earnings. It will be an active night in the futures, particularly in the NQ, man. Oh, Trev. Trev says, my favorite ticker was LFIN. Got frozen while I was in a trade, never opened again. Yeah, see, you know, if you're going to bet on small caps, you're taking a home run bet. I don't think as many people understand as they need to that can happen. And if you play that game long enough where you're making bets on the companies, not necessarily just trading their stock, like small cap momentum stuff, that's a little bit different. But taking bets on small cap companies, dude, that's part of the risk. It might get halted one day, it might never reopen. But that's why that business model is extremely low win rate, huge reward to risk. Because if you predict the next Amazon, dude, fuck. But that's not so easy to do. Well, this market certainly feels confused as all hell, doesn't it? Powell says the shift from easing bias may occur as early as the next meeting. And then again, as discussed, traders are now pricing in, as far as the last update, about a 45% probability of a rate hike in 2027. Worth knowing. All right, guys, well, I'll tell you what, man. This market's clearly confused. I'm going to go hit lunch while they finish up here. And I don't know. I guess, I don't know. We'll see if the last hour, power hour, brings anything here to the table. But, you know, right now we're in a big trading range. Tons of price overlap. So this needs to clean up. So now is the best time. The highest ROI activity for me is to go hit lunch, big dog. So I'll tell you what. Stay patient. Let it come to you. Don't get chewed up like everybody else in the garbage. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, man.